It was April Fool's Day when the Hooters Pro Cup Northern Division last came to South Boston Speedway. And the Southern Division's Clay Rogers played the biggest trick of the day, stealing away the victory. Last week it was Jeff Agnew catching his championship stride, winning on the high banks of Salem, Indiana. And Woody Howard, who calls South Boston his home track, again found the podium with a strong run, but has so far been shut out from taking home the top prize.
It's just wild.
And with just 2 regular season races remaining, the 2005 Series champion Vinnie Gordon has once again checked out on the Northern Division title.
And the rest, they say, is history.
This is where real racing lives. The Hooters Pro Cup Series from South Boston Speedway. Next. The Hooters Pro Cup Series Northern Division visits South Boston Speedway for the second time here in 2006. Tonight, it's the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by TriStar Racewear. Round 11 of a 12-race regular season. Hello, everybody. I'm Gene Crane alongside Scott Sutherland. Stephen Cox is on pit road to cover all the action as this field of 32 cars gets ready to go for 250 laps around this 4/10 mile speedway. Well, it's time for some thunder here in the hills of Virginia. Let's go down trackside for the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
Debbie Cox from TriStar Racewear giving the command in 32 cars rumble alive here in South Boston, Virginia for race number 11. Well, the engine's coming to life and drivers and teams checking radios and cinching down those belts.
Yeah, you notice a little bit of tape over the top of the windshields. That's because when you go into turn 1 here at South Boston, you're right square into the sun until that thing crests over the horizon. A lot of these cars, you can see the tape coming down, and it's really a problem until we get late into the race.
Field set to roll away, but let's take a look at the point standings. Vinnie Gordon will lead the field down to green, but he leads the points coming in, and all he has to do is take that green flag, and he will clinch his 3rd Northern Division championship. Look behind him, though. Those points are nowhere near being settled. Quite a battle there in the top 10.
Well, and the thing is, you want to position yourself to go in the championship series, so every position means a lot. It's a lot on the line, and these guys are going to fight tooth and nail for that.
Well, lucky dog up in the spotter stand to watch the action as this field rolls out of turn 4 to the green flag. And speaking of rolling away, the field now rolling out behind the Fathead Sunglasses pace car for 5 preliminary laps.
You know, the thing is, you want momentum. You want to do everything you can for points, but as going into that championship series, you want momentum for your team and your driver, and that's what these guys are trying to achieve here tonight.
Well, Vinnie Gordon, quick qualifier earlier this afternoon in Advanced Auto Parts pole qualifying. He's with Stephen Cox.
Well, he has 7 Advanced Auto Parts poles in the bag so far this year, and we're not even done yet, but you can wrap up the points just by taking the green tonight. Does that release you to take a big, deep breath and go on with your night?
Yeah, we don't have. That's one thing we don't have to worry about is being in a points race. I know a lot of these guys are battling for second and other positions. So maybe we can take some more chances that we normally wouldn't. But yeah, just glad to wrap that up. Have those bonus points going into the championship series.
Well, Vinnie Gordon picks up that $1,000 bonus from Advanced Auto Parts by being tonight's pole sitter. And let's take a look at our weather here at South Boston.
Our Pepsi weather report, temperature 85 degrees, humidity 61, but you know, it's really a nice day. Going to be a nice evening. Not that extraordinary heat that they've seen over in the Midwest. So the racetrack's in good shape. It's going to be a lot of fun here tonight.
Look at your Naturally Fresh starting grid. Vinnie Gordon from the pole. Alongside is the rookie point leader, 22 car of Derek Cale. Jack Bailey and Gary St. Amand make up the second row. Good qualifying efforts for both those gentlemen. Row number 3, Sam Pallone takes that Bureau vegetable car from the inside. He is joined by Aaron Corbett and the Larry's and Son 75. Jeff Agnew, most recent race winner in the 73 on the inside of row 4. And Lonnie Rush takes the race Gilman Auto 71 from the outside. Alan Burkheiser inside the 68 car, the awesome awning car. And Jay Fogelman, the Romeo Guest Construction 4 car, starts alongside him. Richard Boswell makes his first start in the Junior Motorsports 80. And John Gibson, good qualifying effort for the 50 car. pair of Howards make up row number 7. Shelby Howard on the inside of the 20 car, and the 55 of Woody Howard, defending race champion, on the outside. Johnny Rumley, brake problems throughout the day. The Snow King 8 car starts on the inside of Travis Miller, rookie contender in the 76. Martin Nesbitt, former winner here in this race in the 88, and A.J. Frank in the 11 car make up row number 9. The 10th row is Tim Bainey Jr. in the Grease Lightning 15, and Chris Ward in the Howard and Excavating 29. Behind them, we'll see Dominic Casola, the A. Casola 02, and Stacy Purrier in the BLC Building Center 01 machine. Row number 12, Rick Markle in the 60 car, the Rick Markle Racing and Fabrication machine, alongside the 16 of J.J. Pack, the UMG Mortgage entry. Gabby DiCarlo takes the 83, the Great Clips car, from the inside of row number 13, and Larry Barrett just down the road in Ringo alongside him. Aaron Will, the 21 car, on the inside of row 14, and the 00 of Ken Butler III alongside him. Ray Love Jr. makes his second asphalt start in the 08, and Joe Harrison Jr. will join him in that 15th row. Wally Schweizer in the 44 car in the Travelers Tool entry, and Craig Wood, Tony's Auto Body 13, make up your final row of starters this evening. Field rolling behind the pace car. Onboard cameras this evening will ride along with Jeff Agnew, our naturally fresh onboard camera. He'll start from inside row number 4, right behind Sam Falone.
You got to say he's the hottest driver on the Northern Tour right now, coming off that big win last week at Salem.
Our Lucas Oil onboard camera with Shelby Howard, the Speedco Truck Lube 20 car. Keep an eye on him. And Tim Bainey Jr. once again with a helmet cam. Grease Lightning helmet cam here this evening. Gave us a wild ride at Salem 1 week ago.
I was just going to say it's a much smoother ride here in South Boston than a week ago.
Ken Butler III has the Aaron's Dream Machine onboard camera as he starts right behind Johnny Rumley in the 8 car. And that team, they really struggled. That's the 8 car with brake problems all day long.
Well, this is one of those racetracks. You're going to use a lot of brakes. You're going to be in traffic all night long, so you've got to have a good solid brake pedal. Got to have them rotors working. Take a look at your Aaron's race strategy, something like this. You're going to come in somewhere around lap 70 for that track position-wise. Otherwise, you can run it all the way to about 170 or 180. You can make that far on fuel, come in, get your tires late. Track position, and then you got to stay out of those wrecks. Man, this place is narrow, and you can get caught up in a heartbeat down these little straightaways.
The 16 car J.J. Pack fired up, ran a couple laps behind the pace car, but leaking fluid and brought to pit road. Looks like J.J. Pack may not make the start in the UMG Mortgage entry. Woody Howard, the 55 car, defending race winner. And a few fans here at South Boston Speedway. They're ready for the start, cheering their driver on to what they hope will be his first win here in 2006.
All I can say is that is very creative.
They're really into their racing here in South Boston, Virginia, and behind their drivers, Derek Cale, leading Miller Lite Rookie of the Year contender, starts alongside Benny Gordon. Gordon ready to hit that throttle button and clinch the Northern Division Championship. Field rolling to a start. Tom Hansen, Division Manager for Advance Auto Parts, waving the green flag. On the break, Derek Cale on the outside gets a good run on Benny Gordon. Similar to the start 1 week ago at Salem, Indiana. Cale on the outside. First car back to the start-finish line. He leads lap 1, but Benny Gordon, he's going to get by and take over the race lead.
Well, at Salem the last week, it was that outside groove where you wanted to be in. Tonight, I think Benny Gordon will be running that bottom and showing you how to get around this racetrack.
But then again, Scott, 1 year ago, we saw Woody Howard go up top late in the race and take his 3rd win of the season during his rookie year.
It may change. It may change, but we haven't seen that change during the day just yet. It may as the sun goes down and the racetrack cools off.
Jack Bailey going to get by Derek Cale. Here comes Gary St. Amant. St. Amant using a little different brake strategy. In fact, Stephen Cox has some more information.
Sometimes you have to go slower in order to go faster. Gary St. Amant has been working on the brake system of the Jegs.com car all season long, and he finally found the trick. They took the rear brake calipers completely off the race car and put newer ones and larger ones on instead. Well, tonight, they became very, very fast. Gary St. Amant starts on the outside of row 2. That's his best qualifying spot of the season.
A lot of times you'll have too big of calipers on the front and not enough in the rear. It'll make the car tight. Every time you go down in the corner, the front end will want to shove up, and it's hard to fix that. They have found that they put on a little bit bigger caliper for Gary to drive. Helped him out a bunch.
It's working for Gary St. Amant right now. Deeper in the field, Jeff Agnew following Sam Falone on board with Agnew and his naturally fresh onboard camera. Really putting the pressure on the Imperial Vegetable 48 of Sam Falone. Agnew all the way down on the apron trying to find a way around that car. Pretty good battle. A little further behind, Fogelman just ahead of Perkeiser and Gibson as they go side by side. Here's Agnew. Another run at the 48 car.
Underneath Sam Falone in that Imperial Vegetable car. All four wheels down on that apron, making it happen.
Well, 99 race winner, Jay Fogelman in the 4S. That's the Romeo Guest Construction entry. Subbing for Richard Landreth this weekend. Now putting the pressure on Falone, and behind him, Perkeiser still trying to work around the 50 car of Gibson. Woody Howard watching that battle as well and watching how the grooves develop.
Jay Fogelman knows his way around this racetrack. Two wheels down on the bottom, two wheels up on the banking, right down on that flat. Kind of like where Jeff Agnew was.
Right at the corner exit, looks like both Agnew and Fogelman like to drop all four wheels down to the flat. Here's Tim Bainey Jr.'s perspective. The Grease Lightning helmet cam here this evening. Looks like Nesbitt just to the inside and A.J. Frank directly ahead. Now on board with Ken Butler III, the Aaron's Dream Machine. He's following Wally Schweizer in the 44 car. Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania driver in that 44 machine. Got Larry Barrett directly ahead.
That wall comes up on it in a hurry there, doesn't it, Gene?
It sure does. You hope it doesn't jump out at you. A look at your top five of the Naturally Fresh 250. We'll be right back. Back at South Boston Speedway, Shelby Howard in the 20 car, the Speedco Truck Glue machine, now working his way by the 50 of John Gibson. Spray paint and equipment number 50. Sliding back through the field just a little bit after a great qualifying effort. Here is Perkeiser and Fogelman side by side, and now the 00 of Ken Butler III putting pressure on Larry Barrett in the 04 car. Look low.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
0-1 of Stacy Purrier going around in turn 2. Ken Butler III and others able to avoid. Look like Larry Barrett, the nose of the 04 car, may have caught the back of the strutmasters.com machine of Stacy Purrier. Young man started his racing career here at South Boston Speedway. And what it is, looks like the rear bumper cover off of Purrier's car has wedged itself in the front of Larry Barrett's machine. Larry, just slide right on up in there. Maybe it'll stick.
I think he's trying to give it back to him if there's any way possible. He's going to head down to pit road, get that thing out from underneath there.
Stop a second, another look, some help for Stacy Purrier. Whoa, Johnny Rumley just barely got by.
Looked like Gabby DiCarlo got into the back of Stacy Purrier, but you know what happens? They're all jammed up. They're in that bottom groove. There's 3 or 4 of them. You're anticipating that car in front of you to go forward. You get in the gas, bang, a little bit of contact, and then you have a spin, and then you get the bumper cover tore off, and now we're going to be headed to pit road.
Well, as the field gets ready to head to pit road, the Hooters girls out in the grandstand tossing Frisbees to the crowd here tonight at South Boston Speedway while we're under caution. Scott, let's take a look at South Boston Speedway.
Let's say your BF Goodrich track map. What a great little racetrack. Progressive banking in the corners. That's what I like about it so much. You go down in the corner. If you don't like the bottom, just move up the racetrack because there's more banking at the top. Narrow straightaway, so you got to be careful when you come down this place because if a couple cars get crossed up, there's really no place to go.
We've seen that happen on several occasions. 13 car has come to pit road. Craig Wood from Culpeper, Virginia, coming in the Tony's Auto Body entry to get a quick stop and return to the field. Pace car. Safety lights turn out on top of the pace car, so we're set to come back to green. Benny Gordon up front. Behind him, Jack Bailey, Gary St. Amant, Derek Cale, and give a call to Eric Corbett. Good qualifying run for that 75 car here tonight.
Eric Corbett had a great run last week at Salem. Well, we've been giving him heck about tearing that right front fender off in order to go good, but he's got to wound up tonight.
He's got it figured out. Marty Lindley on pit road with him again this evening. Under green once again, Gordon brings them back to the green flag. It's a good jump. Everybody single file. Everybody on the lead lap early on here in the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by TriStar Racewear. But they get racy right away. Here is Cale and Corbett. Corbett trying the high side.
Not only that, there was a lot of pressure on the bottom by Jeff Agnew. Cale was in a fight right there with two guys. He was in the middle.
Well, Eric Corbett getting the assistance of Marty Lindley. Lindley is a former race winner in this race. Lindley took home the honors back in 2004. Went to the outside and made it work. That may be something that we'll see more and more as the night goes on.
More impressive to me is Jeff Agnew going to the outside, making it work.
Here comes Johnny Rumley. No, that is not Johnny Rumley. That is a 71 car, Lonnie Rush. Rush up to the high side. He's going to try to make it work as well. Derek Cale backsliding a little bit in that 22 car. Derek Cale, the Heritage Equipment car, on board with Shelby Howard. Lucas Oil on board camera following the defending race winner, Woody Howard. Howard trying to find some racing room as both Fogelman and Falone run side by side. Battle for the lead. Here is Jack Bailey trying to take it away from Benny Gordon. Bailey has 2 Advanced Auto Parts poles here in 2006. But not a win, and he's trying to make it happen, at least get up front early on. Gary St. Amant looking very strong in the Jegs.com 72 car right behind that lead battle.
Benny Gordon's car kind of running that high groove, but Bailey's really good on the bottom. Whoa! Get her going, boys.
Travis Miller in trouble in the 76 car. Looks like Markle got a little bit of it as well with the 60. Travis Miller. The RaceDepot.com Fastenal Arena Racing Ford back underway. One of our Miller Lite Rookie of the Year contenders here in 2006 in this Northern Division. Here's another look at it. Miller up on the high side. Like he got up in the marbles and it just went around on him. Here's Markle coming in. Casola with him. Just ran out of room. Travis Miller got on the throttle and tried to get it going again.
But he did the smart thing when the car started getting loose. He stayed in the gas, did a 360, got it going, and there on pit road trying to make some adjustments.
Well, Miller on his way to rejoin the field here at the Naturally Fresh 250. We're coming back with more action from South Boston.
You're watching the Naturally Fresh 250. Don't go away.
This is Matt Kenson, driver of the DeWalt Ford. This is your home for NASCAR.
Woody Howard's fans cheering their driver on here tonight at South Boston. Reason for most recent caution, Travis Miller in the spin cycle. Hooters girls putting some of those Frisbees in the spin cycle as well. Fans relaxing and looking for a restart here of the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by TriStar Racewear. Trackside parking over in 3 and 4 and down the backstretch. Neat way to tailgate, huh, Scott?
Well, Jack Bailey had an opportunity to get to the lead. And I think as soon as we go green, you can look for Bailey to put a lot of pressure on Benny Gordon. He wants to lead this race in a bad way.
Here is Gordon and Bailey with St. Amant, followed by Corbett and Agnew, your top 5 back to green. Looks like Gordon's got a pretty good car on the opening break. Bailey's may need a lap or two to get wound up. Steven has made his way over to his crew chief, Robert Huffman. Steven, what's going on?
Robert Huffman, crew chief on the 93 car, Jack Bailey. It looked like Jack had all the car he needed at the start, but somebody may have slowed him down a touch. Would you be guilty?
Well, you know, I have to keep reminding him he's a 250-lap race. You know, he's a racer like all the other guys out there wants to lead every lap. He's a great competitor, you know, just like to thank his father and Randy Humphreys for the opportunity we got. We brought our A game here with us tonight to try to win this race.
Are you letting him go right now? Did you let him run for this lead with Benny?
Well, you can let him go, but you got to calm him back. You know, we need to lead these races, get us some bonus points, but need to be there at the end to win the race.
Watching the battle just outside the top 10, Woody Howard is 11th. Behind him is Shelby Howard and the 80 car, first-time starter, Richard Boswell, and that champion number 80 out of Junior Motorsports. Battle for the lead up front. Jack Bailey makes a run to the inside. Can he get the advantage over Benny Gordon?
This is kind of what we saw the last time. Benny Gordon won a few laps. Car starts moving up the racetrack, open the door. Bailey, his car's working very well on the bottom. What's going to happen, though, if that train starts going by, it might be a while before Benny Gordon get back down in line.
Well, Gary St. Amant sounding the horn. He's going to drive to the bottom side. Looked like Gordon's car was a little bit loose right in the center of the corner. Car wanted to dance up the racetrack. Agnew's putting the pressure on the newly, well, he's not crowned yet, but he has clinched it, the 2006 Northern Division champion, Benny Gordon. Agnew looking for 2 in a row. A little bump draft off of turn 2 that time. Whoa, Gordon sliding. Agnew might have gotten to the back of Benny Gordon just slightly, and behind them, Shelby Howard went around. Howard down on the bottom side of turn 4. We stay under green. Here's another look at it. Shelby Howard looked like he got some help from behind.
Well, everybody's on the brakes. They're watching the spin in front of them. They're all on the brakes trying to get woed up, and a little bit of contact. Well, if you contact while you're on the brakes, you're going to go around in a hurry easy.
Good job by Shelby Howard to get it back underway. He had spun off the racing surface, so there was not an immediate need for a caution. He kept the motor running, got it jammed back in gear and back underway without losing a lap, but he's going to have to hustle to stay on the lead lap.
Benny Gordon's car goes off into the corner, and just as when it should be able to pick a gas up, his car rotates. The car's turning sideways. They may have a tire going down on that race car.
Gordon sliding backwards through the field. Derek Cale being pressured right now by Alan Burkheis, the awesome awning 68 car. And here is the 80 car. Boswell getting by Benny Gordon. Gordon back outside the top 10, and A.J. Frank, the lightningfast.com 11 car, now trying to size him up.
Benny Gordon, there is something really wrong with that race car. Hopefully he can catch a caution and get to pit road and check that thing out. He's going to lose a lot of spots if they don't get it fixed.
Joe Harrison Jr., the Harrison Automotive 57 car, down on the bottom side of the racetrack. He goes a lap down here early on. Stays out of harm's way. Also Craig Wood keeping that 13 car down on the bottom groove, letting those faster cars get by. Pretty good battle right here, led by Alan Burkheiser with Fogelman, Woody Howard, Eric Corbett, and Lonnie Rush in tow. Burkheiser's got a strong race car tonight.
Giving that thing a whale of a ride. But you notice he goes through the middle of the corner, drops all the way to that apron on the exit, gets a lot of speed for the exit.
Here are your top 3, Jack Bailey, Gary St. Amant, and Jeff Agnew. They have broken away from the 4th place competitor. Here's St. Amant taking a look to the inside of Jack Bailey. St. Amant, he's got to be all grins inside that race car. He's got a strong horse tonight.
I'll go along with that. There was one driver that needs a great run to get some momentum going before the season-ending championship. It had to be Gary St. Amant. We've expected him to be running up in the top 5, the top 3, knocking the doors down, and here he is finally tonight.
Qualified 4th earlier today, now pressuring Jack Bailey. He can't let himself get too comfortable because Jeff Agnew's right back there. Agnew in that 73 car, second in points. No chance of catching Benny Gordon, who has clinched that championship.
Yeah, but they come here with a different car this weekend. They brought a Pontiac this weekend. He won in a Ford last week. This car drives just a little bit better. He likes the way the car corners versus on those big racetracks. And I tell you, we've seen this car be very, very fast at the short tracks.
And the importance of those points, the championship series, weighted by where you finish in the regular season in your division. Benny Gordon continuing to backslide through the field. Tim Bainey gets by. Now Nesbitt trying to get by. Stephen Cox is in his pit. Stephen, what's wrong with Benny Gordon?
The Predator Performance crew is very concerned. You've got Todd Gordon getting down off the war wagon, and they are preparing a fresh set of BF Goodrich TA radials to go on this car as soon as possible. They believe they may have cut down a left rear tire. They're going to leave Benny out for a couple more laps, but guys, he has fallen through the order pretty fast.
Gordon looking for an opportunity to get to pit road and fix that race car. Meanwhile, he's backsliding through the field. We'll be back. Here's a look at your top 5 here in South Boston. The Naturally Fresh 250 from South Boston Speedway on board with Jeff Agnew carrying the Naturally Fresh onboard camera. Agnew trying to pressure Jack Bailey for the lead. Here he goes downstairs.
is working the bottom of that racetrack. Down there, all 4 tires down on that bottom. Go off in there with those. Try to get the leader. Whoa! Watch those hands. He's going to get all 4 down on the apron. He's got to make this move or he's going to get picked off. That's working, huh?
That is what racing's all about up front. Battle there in deep traffic. Let's get down to pit road. Stephen Cox.
Travis Miller, he had his work cut out for him tonight, and we hear it's clutch problems, but tell us and confirm.
Clutch is slipping real bad, you know. Came out here and tested the other day, and the car was really great. We got it turned real good in the center, but come out here today and couldn't turn in a 40-acre field. I got to thank my dad. He's given me all he can give, and my crew, they've done a great job. It's just bad luck.
The kid's done a good job in 2006, has been very, very strong with the amount of effort they've been able to put out as far as financial and all. They've done a great job. Too bad he's out of it early here at South Boston.
Travis Miller, another young, promising driver here in the Hooters Pro Cup Series. I think we'll see a lot out of him. You just got to keep digging, kid, because I'm telling you, that next good run is right around the corner.
On board with Tim Bainey Jr. with his helmet cam. Bouncing around just a little bit.
Well, hopefully it's just the camera that's turned a little bit, not his head's turned that far, because these things have such big head restraints in them that it's hard to get everything tucked in there, and you're just holding your head straight up. Jeff Agnew down on that apron, making another run at Bailey.
Still trying to get by Bailey. They run down the 08 of Ray Love Jr., the Love Concrete and Masonry 08. Ray Love Jr. making his second ever start on asphalt. Normally races on dirt. His first start over in Shenandoah. Third race of the season in this Northern Division regular season. Oh, Eric Corbett up in smoke. The Larry's and Son, Mr. Drain Cleaner 75 of Eric Corbett, driver out of Clear Spring, Maryland.
And he's trying to get to the bottom groove, but there's so much traffic in the bottom, he can't get there. If you're putting oil on the racetrack, that's the last place you want to be. He knows that. He's trying to get down to get to pit road.
Finally finds an opening and turns left, heads down pit road. I think at this point in time, Eric would trade putting another fender on that car versus having to put another motor in the 75.
One of those teams that seem to have turned the corner, picked up some momentum, and now just a little thing, well, it's a big thing. It's a blown engine.
And the qualifying effort outside row number 3, 6th starting position tonight. Thought they might be in tune for their second career win tonight.
See all the fluid coming out from underneath the 75 car. Not a good sign.
Here's Derek Cale coming to pit road, the Heritage Equipment Garrity Engine 22. It's going to drop down to pit road for service, as is Shelby Howard. Speedco Truck Loop 20 car in. Tim Bainey and the Grease Lightning 15 is in. Lonnie Rush is in. Gabby DiCarlo brings the Great Clips 83 in as well. Corbett getting some assistance. Let's head back down to pit road to cover the 22 stop.
The 22 car of Derek Cale has already survived his first scare of the night. They were able to hang on to that outside pole starting position, but of course they have tumbled since that point. They're going to put fresh tires on the right side of the race car, scoot around to the left, throw some water into Derek. And you know, I talked to Derek before the race and he said, look, I want to log some laps. I want to be sure and run a good, clean night. And if you take a look at the body work on that car, guys, it looks pretty good so far. So it's a bit of a slow stop. This isn't as quick as they would like to have gotten back out, but Derek Cale has 4 tires. They're going to get that left rear finished and lose the race off pit road.
Well, Cale returns to the Speedway, loses a little track position, as Steven said. Vinnie Gordon, Lonnie Rush, and Tim Bainey Jr. all getting off of pit road a little bit quicker than the 22 machine. Fans signing up for the Team Hooters Challenge on their way into South Boston Speedway this evening. And David Simpson from Durham, North Carolina selects Woody Howard, driver of the number 55 car, to repeat in victory lane and cause him to have an opportunity to celebrate with his favorite driver, Woody Howard, as well. Here's a look at your top 5. We're coming back to South Boston for more action. South Boston Speedway, Hooters Pro Cup action, Northern Division style here this evening. Jack Bailey's your race leader. We're under caution. Eric Corbett, a problem in the 75 car. He's behind the wall, and Steven is there.
Eric, after a good showing at Salem, some bad luck here tonight. What happened?
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate day. We had a great car and on the motor side to give up on it. So we've had basically nil to no engine failures, and it's going to happen once in a while. So we've been very fortunate. I can't cry about it. It's unfortunate here tonight because we had a real good piece. We were just cruising, man. So that's the way it goes.
Tough to be optimistic in the face of adversity, but Eric Corbett handling it very well.
Things always happen when you're running good. Why can't they come apart when you're running bad and you're in the back of the field? Eric Corbett understands that very well. He had a good race car here tonight. Looking forward to a good run.
Family effort out of Maryland as the field sets up for a restart. Sun starting to set just a little bit. Jack Bailey hits the go button, gets a pretty good jump on Jeff Agnew.
Well, Jack, I'm a big fan of yours. I think you're a great race car driver. You better get a big jump because I think the 73 is coming hunting. He's got a good car behind you, and he can run that bottom like nobody.
Pretty good battle just behind them. Perkaiser's third. St. Amant drops it down low to challenge for that third spot. Woody Howard in that fifth position. He's going to drop to the low side as well. Off into the corner, St. Amant. Looks like it's about, no, here is Perkaiser back on the outside. Problems for Benny Gordon's car. Steven is down on pit road with a report.
Well, it looks as if we have found the problem with the 66 car, and we've also found the crew chief, Todd Gordon. Tell us what we're seeing all over that tire, Todd.
Well, right now it's kind of unfortunate for the Murray's Ford Predator Performance. It appears that we have a leak somewhere in the rear end. I think we're getting ready to just bring them in, not hurt the race car. I mean, there's no chance of doing anything with the oil all over your right rear tire. At least we got the championship, right?
Out of the lead up front, Agnew's going to get by Jack Bailey. Agnew up front. Lap 88, lead change. Jeff Agnew back to the lead. Gary St. Amant completed the pass, got by Perkaiser. Perkaiser held on to fourth. Fifth is Woody Howard.
Well, Todd Gordon's optimistic. They have won the championship for the Northern Division, but you can bet Benny Gordon, this is 2 weeks in a row, he is not a happy camper, and a race car driver gets very frustrated when things are not going his way. Benny Gordon's one of those.
So the Gordon crew faced with a little bit of drama here tonight at South Boston. Meanwhile, Jeff Agnew trying to check out from earlier leader Jack Bailey. Bailey's got his hands full with Gary St. Amant. And Woody Howard dives low. The Joe Gibbs Performance Racing Oil 55 trying to get by Perkaiser. Looks like he's got it done. Here comes Fogelman. He's going to pull alongside Alan Perkaiser.
Fogelman had a real strong car earlier in the race, kind of dropped back a little bit, didn't hear a lot of noise. Now he's trying to make his run back to the front.
Shelby Howard, the 20 car, went for the spin. That caution when Eric Corbett had a motor problem really helped the 20 car. They were able to catch up with that lead pack. They were at the tail end of the lead lap, in danger of being lapped. Now they're back in contention. Here's Fogelman to the inside of Woody Howard. Pretty good battle up off the corner.
Woody Howard got a little bit loose. Fogelman takes advantage, drives his car underneath the 55 of Woody Howard. Ooh, little bump there.
A.J. Frank and Woody Howard. Boy, carbon copy of 1 week ago at Salem.
Well, they're not running second and third or first and second right now. They're trying to work their way through traffic. A.J. Frank with another good run.
Here's Bailey up the racetrack. Looks like St. Amant got a run on the 93 car. They'll go side by side off into the corner. Drag race off the corner, but St. Amant takes the position down in turn 3.
There's one happy fella out here on this racetrack, and he's driving the number 72 Jakes.com car. Gary St. Amant with his best run so far this year.
Here's Fogelman. That's another calf that's got to be grinning ear to ear. He's having a great run here tonight. Jay Fogelman, car number is 4S, indicating that he races for points in the Southern Division. Richard Landreth, originally slated to drive this race car, had a death in the family. Fogelman got the call, and he's given it a whale of a ride.
They brought a really nice piece to the racetrack. A good race car, works very well. And hey, what about it? Jay Fogelman's got a lot of laps around South Boston.
We've got some problems. 97 laps in, and Gibson finds the outside concrete over in turn 3. 50 car brings out the caution. John Gibson from Statesville, North Carolina. The spray paint and equipment 50 brings out this caution early on. Our presenting sponsor of tonight's event here at South Boston is TriStar Racewear. And according to the rules of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series, all teams dressed out in fire retardant and safety equipment for pit stops. And as you can see, many of the teams on pit road ready to bring their cars in, many of them using products from TriStar Racewear, the official safety apparel supplier of the USAR. Gordon coming to pit road. So is Rick Markle, Jack Bailey. Looks like Jay Fogelman also dropping down to pit road. Woody Howard is back there. AJ Frank, a host of cars coming to pit road. 97 laps in. Scott, we're right inside that window.
Well, we've been within that window. There was a couple guys that came earlier, like Shelby Howard. I'm real surprised Jeff Agnew, Gary St. Amant didn't get to pit road.
And Scott, this is a long pit road.
Yeah, you actually come in and turn 2, come down the back stretch, or the back pit area, turn to make their corner in 3 and 4, come down the front stretch. It is a long ways around if you're in that number 1 stall.
Stephen Cox is waiting for Jack Bailey.
Gene, the 73 car will not come in, but Jack Bailey will in the 93. Now, crew chief Robert Huffman says that they need to take some cross weight out of the car. They've got to try to free it up a little bit. They also want to work with some air pressure changes and get Jack Bailey out with a better handling race car. But just behind Jack, you've also got the 55 car of Woody Howard, who is running in 5th position. And, of course, he was a threat to win just a few weeks ago, or rather a week or two ago at Salem. And he will not beat Jack Bailey out. In fact, the 11 car will get him as well.
Good stop for A.J. Frank. The 00. Ken Butler, the 3rd, returning to the Speedway. But understand there were some problems back there. They pitted on that back pit road area. The 00, the Aaron's Dream Machine, is going to have to come back in, take over the right front. It's a little bit soft. That tire just bolted on, is already going flat.
Well, we can show you because we got a shot of it. And if you look at the right front corner, they've already changed the right sides. They're going around to the left. Look at the right front tire. It's already going down. What's happened probably is the valve stem leaked on when it was on the other side of the pit wall. They didn't realize a car goes on the racetrack. They come back down pit road, put their old right front back on the car. They'll go back out on the racetrack. Hopefully get that thing fixed for later in the race.
You're watching the Hooters Pro Cup Series where real racing lives.
At South Boston Speedway, this is the 11th race of the 12-race regular season for the Northern Division of the Hooters Pro Cup Series. Little drama on pit road for the 00 team. Steven?
What happened on that last pit stop?
We had a valve core failure. Valve core jammed open and bled all the air out. So we had to come in and put a new one in, bring it back in, and put this tire back on. So that's okay. We got a good car. The Aaron's Dream Machine will get back up to the front.
Some bizarre things can happen, even on pit road, not on the racetrack.
Leader is Jeff Agnew coming back to green. Aaron Will, the 21 car, the Altoona alignment car, down on the bottom side of the racetrack. He is a lap car. Howard up to 30. Stayed on the racetrack. Came in early, like you said, Scott.
Track position is going to be this whole thing, because guess what? If the 2 guys in front of them, they've got to come to pit road. Guess who's going to be leading the race?
Well, Jeff Agnew showing the way behind them, those that came to pit road. Starting to shuffle a little bit. Good run for Mark Nesbitt, the 88 car. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, 88. Up to 4th. Nesbitt won this race back in 2003. Whoa, Nesbitt really crossed up.
I think with a little bit of help of that 71 car, Lonnie Rush had a good run off the corner, just barely tapped the back of the 88.
On board with Shelby Howard. Lucas Oil onboard camera following Gary St. Amant. Howard spun, got the car righted without caution coming out. Was very deep in the lead lap when caution came out for the blown engine. And the Eric Corbett 75 car. Howard stays out. Look at this battle for 4th. Rush is going to work his way by the hard way around Mark Nesbitt.
That's one of that old adages, 8 tires hold better than 4. Lonnie Rush makes it happen, goes underneath Mark Nesbitt, and he picks up the spot.
Nesbitt back to 5th. The 80 car of Richard Boswell now holding down 6th position. Shelby Howard, a lot of changes in that team here recently. We talked to him earlier today about how that team is gelling.
We're starting to. Our program's starting to take a turn. We finished second at Radford the other day. Didn't have a good week like we wanted at Salem, but the car's pretty good about like it was at Radford here at South Boston today. Mike Laughlin's helping us a bunch with the chassis, and Gertie Engine's doing a good job with the motors. We got Speedco as a sponsor now, so things are definitely going our way.
They were going his way at Jennerstown, picked up his first series win. Hunting for win number 2. Howard of the Speedco Truck Lube Pontiac to the outside of the Jegs.com. 72 of Gary St. Amant. Pretty good battle right there.
Well, he's got something else going for him right now, and that's called strategy, because he just got into second place. He's already made his pit stop. He knows Jeff Agnew's going to have to make his pit stop. Track position is going to be the big winner here. He just needs to take care of his tires. A long ways to go yet in the race.
Lonnie Rush has run down Gary St. Amant. Third place battle in more trouble. Jack Bailey in trouble, the 93 car. This is what track position can do for you in a wrong way. Bailey deep in traffic. Don't know if he got helped or exactly what the situation was, but the Ferguson Waterworks 93 back underway. It's going to hurt. Let's see if we can get another look at Jack Bailey's situation.
Down into the corner. Thought he had the 44 car cleared. It came down just a little bit early, a little contact, but exactly what you're talking about. He was just about to clear all traffic, open racetrack in front of him, and Jack Bailey would have been back in the hunt.
We're coming back to South Boston, the Naturally Fresh 250. A look at your top 5. South Boston Speedway, Jeff Agnew is your race leader. Has yet to come to pit road. Now the folks from Racing Electronics is once again wired up Scott Sutherland to talk to our leader, Jeff Agnew.
Jeff Agnew, you got me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I see you're still out on the racetrack. Everybody else is pitted. What are you guys going to do?
I'm waiting on the guys in the crew. They're making all the calls, and they made a great call at Salem last week. So we're just going to go here for a little while and try to get some good tires on at the end. The car's fading away a little bit now, so the more laps we run now, the better it'll be.
You're this close to halfway. You want to pick up that Lucas halfway money at this point, Gene. I mean, what the heck? You've rolled the dice. Let's stay out there just a little bit longer.
And add $1,000 to your hip pocket as well.
Absolutely. Maybe the fresher tires at the end of the race will show up and give him an advantage.
Well, Benny Gordon has been behind the wall while we're out at break. They brought the car to pit road, but let's look at the restart. Gordon from the inside going to get a jump. He's 4 laps down. He's going to get out in front of Jeff Agnew, get one of those laps back. Agnew's got to worry about the lead and his battle with Shelby Howard. They're just 4 laps away from the $1,000 bonus at the Halfway Leader Award from Lucas Oil Products.
Jeff Agnew has a good race car. Shelby Howard has fresher tires right now. I think he can take advantage of that. When you're looking at halfway, man, you're going to do everything you can. You want to pick up that extra money that Lucas plays on the line every race. Jeff Agnew's trying to hold that position.
Gary St. Amant has not been to pit road, but the 71 of Lonnie Rush has. He pitted just prior around lap number 70. And that has given him track position right now. Let's take a look at what happened with Benny Gordon. They brought that Predator Performance Ford behind the wall. Remember, that right rear getting very slick with a slight leak from the rear end. They're going to take a look at it. Scott, what are they doing?
Well, they're looking to where the oil would be coming, the grease coming out of the rear end, getting on the right rear tire, which makes the car extremely loose. It looks like they've got it fixed, at least for a little bit, because he has driven away from Jeff Agnew.
Jeff Agnew stays out. He will pick up the Lucas Oil Halfway Leader Award, $1,000, after leading 37 circuits to the halfway point. So Jeff Agnew being that halfway leader now, does he want to come to pit road right away? Track position would say he would as soon as the caution comes out.
Oh, he's going to definitely come in. The next caution, he's headed to pit road, getting 4 tires. I think Gary St. Amant as well, they're going to come down and make an adjustment and get ready for this racetrack. I think it's starting to tighten up just a little bit, as typically it does when the sun starts to go down.
Shelby Howard not really putting much pressure on Jeff Agnew. Not really using that car that hard right now. Gary St. Amant has not been to pit road as well. So he's another car hungry for a stop.
You're riding along with Shelby Howard, and notice how he stays up on the racetrack. He doesn't drop his tires down on that flat area. He doesn't take the wedge out of the car and abuse those tires. Very smart.
Tim Bainey Jr. sawing on the wheel as he rides behind Richard Boswell. That champion number 80 car right ahead. Been a pretty good night for Tim Bainey Jr., the 15 team, the Grease Lightning Ford. After that wall slapper they had at Salem. Lower radiator hose coming off that car early on. Those folks really need a good run. Here's A.J. Frank. He's going to pull alongside the 22 of Cale. Frank is going to take over the spot. He's going to bring Jay Fogelman with him. Woody Howard right in the middle of that mix as well, along with Perkheiser. And Johnny Rumley, the Snow King number 8, is also right there.
Jay Fogelman had a very good race car earlier. Hasn't really got himself back up into position. I don't know why. Working through the traffic with his race car must be just a little bit snug, a little bit tight. Front end won't stay down. He's got to be very patient coming through traffic.
Johnny Rumley, those brake problems throughout the day, they continued into qualifying. They elected, because it was a safety problem, to work on that car and start from the tail of the field. Rumley has made his way up to 13th. Look at this battle. 3 wide down the straightaway. Howard is going to squeeze his way through.
Derek Kell was not the beneficiary of that. Woody Howard moves him up. White walls the right side. Tires moves Derek Kell up. He needed to get by that lap car.
Craig Wood was probably saying in that 13 car, where else can I go, guys? I'm down on the bottom. Tight racing here at South Boston Speedway. Here's Fogelman going after Bainey. Tim Bainey has the 7th position. Right behind A.J. Frank. Fogelman wants to take it away. Up front, pretty good battle here is Shelby Howard. Still dogging the 73 of Jeff Agnew. Agnew trying to hang on. Still has yet to come to pit road. Further back, Bainey in 7th. And they're stacked up all the way through your top 10. Just behind him, Howard gets a run to the outside.
Shelby Howard using that outside groove. He's been doing that for the last 10, 15 laps. Rolls around Jeff Agnew.
So a new leader here on lap 136. Shelby Howard takes over. St. Amant feeling some pro. And we've got more problems. Turn 3. This is Craig Wood, the 13 car. Front end is pretty well damaged on that car. Craig pulls away. Culpeper, Virginia driver. Front end damage on that car. Looked like Schweizer might have been a part of it. Another look at it. Here is the Travers Tool Company 44 coming into the screen. Clips the front of the 13. And Wood has damage. Leaders on pit road. Scott, looks like it's going to be a busy place.
Well, they get an opportunity to come in and get their 4 tires. They can make an adjustment on a race car, get fuel in it, they get good for the end. Stevens waiting for the 73. What do you got, Steven?
And by my count, he has finished every lap all year long. Last week's winner, Jeff Agnew, will bring the 73 Team 7 car down pit road for complete service now. And Jack Bailey's car will be right in front of him. That may cause some problems for Jeff to get out. We'll wait and see. In the meantime, they put on 4 fresh tires, and Jeff has been complaining that his car is just a little too tight. They need to free it up some. They're going to work some air pressure and also some chassis adjustment. He does not have to worry about Jack Bailey. Bailey is out of his way.
So Agnew rejoins the field along with the rest that have come to pit road. Naturally Fresh 250 continues.
More exciting racing from South Boston right after this.
At South Boston Speedway, the Naturally Fresh 250. Let's take a look at the Miller Lite rookie rundown. Richard Boswell, his first ever Pro Cup race. He's running 3rd. And how about Gabby DiCarlo, 10th in that Great Clips 83 car. Good run for her.
Talked about a lot of teams that need some momentum. Gabby DiCarlo definitely could use some of that momentum on her side.
Young lady out of Phoenix, Arizona, came from open wheel racing. Field is set for the restart. Down on the inside, Larry Barrett. The Barrett's trucking and excavating 04. Right ahead of Benny Gordon. Gordon is 3 laps down on the restart. Howard gets a run, tries to get a little distance between himself and Lonnie Rush Jr. Only was able to put maybe, a car length and a half?
Benny Gordon making that move to the bottom, trying to get himself back up to that top spot. Being lap down cars, you want to be on that inside line if you're trying to get another lap back.
Leaders off into the corner. Shelby Howard still using a much higher line. Lonnie Rush out of turn 2 from the bottom of the racetrack has to sweep back out to the wide side. Then Richard Boswell of the 80 car, that champion 80 car. Really looking strong here tonight. On board, the naturally fresh onboard camera, Jeff Agnew. Fresh tires on the 73 car. All over the back of the 22 of Derek Cale. Here is the 80 car. Richard Boswell trying to hold off the defending champion. Boswell running very strong tonight.
Yeah, the 80 car of Richard Boswell. This is quite a story here, guys. You know, he was a development driver in junior motorsports, and he was told that if you go out and win a late model ride, we'll put you in a Pro Cup car. So he did win at Old Dominion. He's in the champion car tonight, and it looks like he's making the best of it.
Boswell hangs on. A.J. Frank about to challenge now for third. Frank in that Schaefer Oil number 11. And a wild race 1 week ago at Salem.
Boswell has a bunch of benefits, though. He's in a great race car with a lot of technology, along with the fact that Shane Huffman is down there on the radio with him and really helping him with this race car. It's a big transition to go from a late model to this type of racing.
Oh, and it looked like A.J. Frank in the back of Boswell. He may have checked up a little bit when Ray Love Jr. went around to the 08 machine. Caution is shown for the 7th time tonight. Ray Love Jr. That Love Concrete and Masonry Incorporated machine. Again, only his 2nd ever start on asphalt. So the young man rights the car and gets it back underway. A look at your top 5. 100 laps to go here at South Boston. A spin by Ray Love Jr. brings out the caution, set for a restart of the naturally fresh 250 from South Boston, Virginia. Leader is Shelby Howard in the 20 car, and on the start, Benny Gordon 3 laps down gets a big jump, and that might be the key word.
Well, Benny Gordon trying to get another lap back, trying to get back on the lead lap. You're doing everything you can. I'm afraid he jumped just a little bit too early, and hopefully he doesn't get a penalty.
Well, Shelby Howard, and there's a black flag. Benny Gordon being shown the black flag. He'll have to come in for a stop-and-go penalty for jumping the start. Howard out front, though, over Lonnie Rush.
By rule, the leader starts the race. He starts on the restart as well. The leader has to cross the start-finish line first. Then the inside car can go ahead and make his move. Benny got just a little bit too good a run off turn 4.
Benny Gordon should be coming to pit road here fairly quickly. Meanwhile, Shelby Howard got quite an advantage over Lonnie Rush. Rush may have had disbelief over what he was watching.
Well, it all happens real fast, but you can see Benny Gordon has a great race car. Here he comes to pit road.
Gordon to pit road. Earlier leak in the rear end housing, causing them to go to pit road, go behind the wall, and lose 4 laps in getting that car repaired. Steven is headed down to the 66 pit, and Fallone off the pace. The Piro Vegetable Chevrolet in trouble as well. Steven is waiting for Benny Gordon.
Benny Gordon's team is absolutely furious. They've been given a stop-and-go penalty for jumping the green flag, and Todd Gordon has been very, very upset on top of the War Wagon. The Predator Performance team is really under the gun tonight. I tell you, when it rains, it pours, Gene.
It certainly does, Steven, and Benny Gordon gives back the lap he got 3 cautions ago from leader Jeff Agnew. So Gordon now back 4 laps down here as we reach 159 circuits in at South Boston. On board with your race leader, Shelby Howard. Howard closing in on some lap traffic. Would appear to be perhaps Joe Harrison Jr. directly ahead. And the Piro Vegetable Chevrolet of Sam Fallone getting a little assist back to his pit. Problems for Sam Fallone. The wind and net already down, so looks like it's going to be a short night for the young man from North Collins, New York. Lonnie Rush has run down Shelby Howard. That advantage Howard had has disappeared.
Well, when you catch lap traffic, you've got to back up just a little bit. I think Shelby had to do that. He had to roll up just a little. That allowed the 71 car to close the gap. We'll see how they do once they get back out into open field again.
A.J. Frank has hustled his way to 3rd. Jay Fogelman is 4th. And Richard Boswell continues to run in the top 5. He's being pressured by Tim Bainey Jr. in the Grease Lightning ride.
Give a call to Tim Bainey Jr. Great run here tonight.
Try the high side, follows Fogelman. And that Romeo Guest, number 4. Fogelman, a Southern Division driver, one of a handful here this weekend. Remember the season opener right here at South Boston back in April. Whoa, look out.
Whoa. Everybody checks up.
The 68 machine goes around. Alan Perkeiser in the Awesome Awnings Ford gets it refired and back underway. Had a good run. Was running inside the top 10. Everything got jammed up, as you can see by the nose of that car. Here's another look at it.
You can see Perkeiser has to check up just a little bit because 55 gets into 15, 73 gets it back at 68. The 8 car slips to the outside. A lot happened in a short period of time.
Here's another look at it from Agnew's perspective. Everybody wiggling a little bit there in turn 4. Caution is out for Perkeiser. Swapping ends here, the Naturally Fresh 250 from South Boston Speedway. Don't go away.
Sam's got his hand on the starter right now, but let's see if he's got a second to tell us. Sam, what happened to the car?
I believe we have a battery problem or electrical problem. We just changed the battery. I don't know, the car just missed and it shut right off.
He's got his hands full right now, guys. We're going to get back out of his way. But Sam Falone, with an excellent starting spot in the first 3 rows tonight, really disappointed.
That team has had a lot of really bad luck. They've had some really good race cars. Sam Falone's learned a lot about driving in the Pro Cup Series.
Young man, just 23 years of age, and right now coming back to green, Shelby Howard shows the way. Howard leads the way over Lonnie Rush Jr. The Ray Skillman Auto 71 car settles into that second spot. A.J. Frank is third. They work by some of the lap traffic. Larry Barrett keeps the 04 car down on the bottom side, out of harm's way.
Well, Benny Gordon went with him on the restart. He tucked in behind the 20 machine. Now, does Benny Gordon have enough to drive past Shelby Howard and get one of those laps back?
Running out of time, only 80 laps remaining, and he's 4 laps down. Shelby Howard, look at that rear view mirror, see where Lonnie Rush is at. You've got a decision to make. Is it worth fighting that 66 car or just pull over, let him go, and get back in line as quick as you can?
Well, I think the question is, how much gap is there? How much, if you let the 66 go, can he clear you in a hurry and then you close the door? You don't want the 71 to take the opportunity. Looks like the 71 has his hands full.
Oh, he sure does. A.J. Frank all over the rear bumper in the 11 car. And here comes Jay Fogelman. Second place, about to become a 2-car battle, 3-car battle up front.
What has gotten into this 11 car? A.J. Frank in the last 4 or 5 races, they've just come to life.
Well, that's a brand new car. Remember several races ago at Lake Erie, they debuted this car. This is a Predator chassis underneath the 11 car, and looks like A.J.'s getting it done.
Well, you always talk about how much can I ride this horse? Well, you ride the horse till the legs come out when you get a good race car.
Here is Jeff Agnew getting by Tim Bainey Jr. He'll take over 7th position. Tim Bainey Jr., the young man giving that 15 car a whale of a ride here tonight. Let's also give a call to Rick Markle, the 60 car. The Markle Fabrication and Racing, number 60, right now being shown 13th. His best outing of the year. Put together a good run here. Derek Cale also putting together a good run. He leads the rookie points for that Miller Lite Rookie of the Year title. We talked to him about that title.
Well, I'm kind of a little superstitious about that. I don't want to think about it too hard. Just do the best we can do at every race. I think someone told me, as long as we finish within 7 positions of the rest of the rookies, that we'll still get it in the next 2 races. But no, we just go into every race trying to do the best we can and then worry about the points when they tell us what they are. Looks like we have a good shot at getting it, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, and we'll just see what happens here today.
Well, $1,000 for the Miller Lite Rookie of the Race at every race. A total of $90,000 put up by Miller in that Miller Lite Rookie of the Year title program. That's some big money. Look at this 3-wide battle with Larry Barrett stuck in the middle.
Martin Nesbitt taking a big chance down on that flat spot, trying to get position. He's racing there with Alan Perkeiser and Derek Cale.
This battle just within the top 10. Derek Cale. Now here's the battle up front. Second place still being contested. A.J. Frank working all over the rear bumper of the 11 car of Lonnie Rush Jr.
Jay Fogelman behind him. I saw that last corner, put all 4 tires down on the flat, and his car stuck down there.
That car came in as car number 10. Fogelman got behind the wheel. It's the 4S tonight. Steven has more about Jay Fogelman and this ride.
The number 4 car was a number 10 car earlier today. See, Romeo Guest Construction needed the driver on a one-off basis. They called Jay Fogelman a proven winner in this series. It was a great choice. He jumped in the car. They put number 4 on it instead of number 10 about 2/3 of the week in practice today. And Jay jumped in it there in the top 5.
Put together a great run. That's got to be some rejuvenation for Jay Fogelman. He's had some strong runs in the South, though.
We're looking at Shelby Howard coming right straight at you. Whoa, right in front of him.
That Dominic Casola, the 02 car, in trouble in 1 and 2. A lot of smoke from underneath the A. Casola Farms. Pontiac Casola trying to get it back underway.
I'm telling you, when you're the leader of the race, that's the last thing you want to see when you're barreling down into the corner is smoke flying and cars spinning.
We're under caution once again here at South Boston, coming up with more Northern Division action.
Hi, I'm Justin Morneau of the Minnesota Twins. Watch live Major League Baseball all season long right here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports.
Jack Bailey on pit road with a 93 car. Checking the right rear on that race car. Leader continues to be Shelby Howard. Second is Lonnie Rush, and Steven is with his dad.
When did you change tires, and how many laps will you have on your set compared to some of the other guys that stopped earlier?
Well, we stopped, I think, about at lap 80-something because we had an overheating problem. We had to pull some tape. But we've monitored the lap times of people that have changed tires, and they're not running that much quicker. So we're good on lap times. We're just hoping that we can maintain our position, and we'll see what happens.
The BF Goodrich G-Force Radial is an excellent tire for this racetrack. It does not fall off, which doesn't hold good for Jeff Agnew and the guys at Gary St. Amant, the pitted late. Sure does hold good for that 20 car.
Looks good for Shelby Howard on the restart. Howard jumps out front once again. Puts a car length, 2 car lengths, maybe 2.5 over Lonnie Rush Jr. Saw that interview with Lonnie Rush Sr. Senior raced to the Pro Cup Series Northern Division up to a couple of years ago. Lonnie came from the Truck Series to race here at Pro Cup. They've had a good combination. Junior says his biggest influence in racing has been his dad. Right now, there's a little bit of influence being passed out by A.J. Frank in the 11 car.
A.J. Frank just a little tap in the left rear quarter, and he's around, well, almost. Yeah, he is now.
Door was left open. Jay Fogelman to third. He'll drive below the 71 of Lonnie Rush Jr. and take over third. Rush hustled back to fourth in a heartbeat. Continuing to round out your top 5 is the 80 car of Richard Boswell. Boswell's got some pressure with Jeff Agnew in the 73. Pretty good race for the 5th position as well.
Jeff Agnew's had to do it the hard way. He led it halfway. Everybody else had made their pit stops. He had to go to the rear of the field after making his pit stop and drive by every one of these cats, along with Gary St. Amant, just now coming into the picture.
Field starting to, those that came to pit road and lost that track position, working their way back towards the front. Boswell showing a little bit of damage on the left front of that race car. Woody Howard trying to hang on. St. Amant finished 5th 1 week ago at Salem. And earlier today we talked to Gary about how this crew is starting to come together.
Well, you know, right now, I feel like our team has made a lot of progress over the last few races. The race car, the new off-one front end. Since we put that on, we've become a consistent top 10 runner. And last weekend at Salem, we brought out another car, which now we're finally coming to the racetrack with 2 race cars ready to go. And I feel totally different here coming to South Boston.
Scored in his first outing in the Pro Cup Series, a 2nd place run 2 years ago here at South Boston. Watching your 5th place battle. Agnew trying to work to the inside of Boswell in that 80 car. Trouble over in turn 4, 1 car around. Looked like it might have been Perkaiser. Caution is out. Oh, and more problems over there. Rumley's involved. Looks like Aaron Will and the 21 also involved. And we understand the 22 also got a piece of it. Aaron Will, that car really used up.
Definitely got a headshot on that thing, shoved the engine back. That's an oil fire, probably from the oil pump has come off or the fuel pump, one of the two, but that is definitely some flame.
Aaron Will's got a little barbecue going on. Let's take a look at what happened. See, Perkheiser has gone around.
Perkheiser gets shoved around, looked like the front end of Larry Barrett machine, but watch these guys go to the bottom. They're trying to avoid the wreck. They're going to shoot down to the left. And that is big contact down there.
Looked like Derek Cale and Johnny Rumley sliding off to the left-hand side. Aaron Will somehow collecting one of those members over there in turn 4. Report is it was Johnny Rumley's car, and looking at the right rear of Rumley as it goes by. Boy, he got a heck of a shot. Derek Cale, the Garrity Engines machine, limped its way to pit road as well. But Aaron Will, as you see right here on the backstretch pit road, looks like the flame has subsided underneath the 21 car. Safety crews to check it out, make sure everything is safe before opening up pit road. The wheel and open and close light still indicating the pit road is closed. And there is Derek Cale's car. The nose of that car used up heavily as well.
Young man having a great run, qualified on the outside pole, just trying to get some more laps in this Hooters Pro Cup Series, but very, very competitive. Unfortunate.
Field brought to a stop, red flag displayed here at South Boston Speedway. So while we are cleaning up after the incident, we'll take a quick break. Hooters girls with some of the young fans here in the grandstand area. The Naturally Fresh 250, presented by TriStar Racewear from South Boston, Virginia. Hooters Pro Cup action. Field starting to roll away after a red flag. Wild incident out of turn 4. Saw some significant damage to the 21 of Aaron Will and the 22 of Derek Cale. So both cars sidelined, and while we were at break, Stephen Cox caught up with the two drivers to find out what happened over in turn 4.
Looked like someone got into the 68 car and turned them right in front of me and Rumley. Me and Johnny were having a real good race. I kept looking underneath them and just couldn't make it stick. So, like I said earlier, I didn't want to drive it on down in there and maybe wreck us both. So I was just taking my time. And when that car got turned, it just blocked the track. Me and Rumley got together. We slid up into it. So just really nowhere to go. That's the deal.
Yeah, I just feel real bad for Johnny Rumley. We were just out here making laps tonight and doing okay for part-timer. And when they spun, I thought I had it missed. I saw the two cars. One was in the middle, one was down low, and I figured, well, I even had it slowed down. I figured, well, I just scoot through the middle, and the 8 car just shot out from behind the other one and pow. So I really feel bad for him. I really try to give these guys a lot of room, and it didn't happen. So.
Very difficult to get out here and get laps and get experience with these guys. It all happens too fast. Wheel and pit light is on. That means the pits are open.
Here comes Woody Howard, the 55 car coming to pit road, along with DeCarlo and the 15 of Tim Bainey Jr. Stephen Cox is waiting for Woody Howard.
The 55 car of Woody Howard needs all kinds of attention. The first thing they need is some water on the front of this race car because they're having cooling difficulties. They're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're just going to throw a bucket of water on it. They're also going to make some adjustments and throw the rest of the water on Woody Howard himself. Now, he's going to leave the pit stall, and they're going to try to get things dried back off and pull him just a little bit further forward to the next pit stall and then change tires. They did not want to try to do it all at once and risk having water underneath the car when they change the tires. So Woody will come back in.
Saw that the 93 Jack Bailey also in. Significant work being done to the left side of that race car to get Bailey back in action here tonight at South Boston. Here's Rumley's car. Significant damage to the right rear of that car, although the rear end does not appear to be moved over. So the Snow King Chevrolet heads back onto the speedway. Let's take a look at your Lucas Oil race recap. On the break here this evening, it was Derek Cale from the outside of row number 1 to take the lead. That was short-lived. Benny Gordon took the advantage. Then it was the 93 of Jack Bailey that took his turn up front. Lap 79. Problems for Eric Corbett. The power plant says see ya, and Corbett heads to the pit area. Lap 89. Jeff Agnew goes to the inside, gets by Jack Bailey to take over the race lead. Lap 137. On the outside, Shelby Howard motors around Jeff Agnew to take over the lead in lap 195. Out of turn 4, problem the 8 of Rumley, the 22 of Kayla, the 21 of Aaron Will, all knocked out of competition when Burkheiser went around off the front bumper of the 04. That is your Lucas Oil race recap. A look at how we got to this juncture as the field gets set to roll back to green.
Shelby Howard with a great restart. But just one little note. The Dream Machine was our last shot on that wreck, and he dodged another bullet and got through the middle of it. Great job tonight by Ken Butler.
A lot of heads-up driving by the 00, the Aaron's Dream Machine. Ken Butler, the third in his second-year competition in the Pro Cup Series. A.J. Frank trying to run down the 20 car has got a rear bumper full of Jay Fogelman. Fogelman is third, moves Frank up the racetrack, battle for second. Fogelman pulls alongside.
That door better close in a hurry because Lonnie Rush, is ready to take it as well. A lot of contact.
Rush and Frank.
No.
Oh, nosed it into the inside wall here on the front straightaway. Lonnie Rush becomes a gutter ball here at South Boston. Slid to the inside and has shortened the nose of that race car considerably. And looks like the radiator has given up as well.
Lonnie Rush with another great race car here tonight. Just caught up with a little incident, little bit of contact. He's trying to stay in it, and at the last second, oh no, when the back end comes around.
Looked like he might have been trying to stay off of A.J. Frank. They had roughed each other up a little bit. Just cut the car a little bit too tight. From Jeff Agnew's perspective. Boy, you see a car sliding like that, you got to wonder if it's coming back out in front of you.
You're just hoping they hold the brakes and they stay against the wall, because if they don't, it's going to be a bad day.
More action coming your way at South Boston right after this. Field getting set for a restart here. The Nationally Fresh 250 presented by TriStar Racewear. Race leader is the 20 car of Shelby Howard, the Speedco Truck Loop. Tony Stewart Racing, number 20. Fogelman lines up second. Frank will be third on the restart. Benny Gordon still 4 laps down to your race leader. Hanging on here tonight. Restart Howard through the gearbox, and Fogelman gives chase down in 1 and 2. Jay Fogelman stays within a car length as they head down to turn 3. Fogelman's on his horse. He's hungry for a win.
Before this one's over, you're probably going to see a little bit more paint get traded, because Jay Fogelman is all about getting to that front, and you can see he is very hungry. But I really like Shelby Howard's car. After about 4 or 5 laps, it really starts to take off.
Fogelman continues to peek to the inside. Meanwhile, Richard Boswell running fourth, giving A.J. Frank a little bit of a fit. Here is Fogelman, got a fender alongside Shelby. Fogelman stays glued to that rear bumper. Single race deal for Jay Fogelman in this 4 car.
But what's really neat about that is how often does a race car driver show up at the racetrack and they say, hey, just drive our car with you. Will you do that? He bails in this thing, and he is driving the heck out of it. But that shows me right there, they've got a great race car with a great team behind it.
Got to think Jay Fogelman will be really pumped up after this run going to Peach State next week.
Well, let's see if he can close the door and finish the deal. Meanwhile, the 73 car, Jeff Agnew, who was probably the quickest car in the first half of the race, making his way back into the top 5.
So Agnew goes to 4th, drops Boswell to 5th, and St. Amant trying to get his way into the top 5. Close in on A.J. Frank. Top 2 have got maybe 6-7 car lengths over that third place battle. Agnew starting to put the pressure on A.J. Frank. It was about this juncture 1 week ago at Salem that Agnew was in this very position following A.J. Frank. Frank and Howard going at it pretty hard there at Salem. When it was all said and done, Agnew saved his tires, motored around, and went away with the race win.
That place is so much about momentum. You get up on that top of the racetrack. Ooh, A.J. loose into the corner. Opens the door.
Tried to put the car down to the low side of the racetrack. Perhaps he got caught up in that oil absorbent.
I'm thinking just a little bit too much rear brake. You'll find yourself every once in a while charging the corner. Maybe check the mirror. Looking around just a little bit. You'll pick up that brake, and the back tires will lock up just a little bit faster than the fronts. Car gets extremely loose going in. Jeff Agnew definitely took advantage of it.
So Agnew to 3rd, Frank to 4th. Boswell still hanging on to 5th. He's giving this car a whale of a ride here tonight. 222 laps in. And in contention, right behind Gary St. Amant, Ken Butler, the 30s, dodged those bullets you talked about, Scott. He is running 7th. Good run tonight for Ken Butler, the 3rd. Just one position off of his career best here in the Pro Cup Series. Behind Butler, Perkiser has recovered. Woody Howard is making his way back, as is Jack Bailey. Baney, Rumley, Markle, Gabby DiCarlo, all on the lead lap.
This here is a lot of fun to watch. Jay Fogelman has used every line on the racetrack. He needs just a little bit more grip in order to get around and get into the lead of this race. But he's got to look in his mirror because the 73 car is on the hunt.
With 25 laps to go, it comes down to a Saturday night shootout. Shelby Howard looks in that rear view mirror, but only very quickly. He's got a lot to worry about to try to take home his second win. Fogelman, problems over here in the corner. Turn 3 sees Tim Baney Jr. and Jack Bailey in trouble. Baney trying to pull away in that 15 car. Grease Lightning 15 of Baney. Now Bailey able to pull away. A lot of damage to the rear clip of that car.
That's really unfortunate because Tim Baney was having one of his best runs. We've seen him all season long. You can see the 93 get sideways going to the corner. Baney's on the brakes trying to whoa it up. He gets clobbered from the back from the 8 car. And around you go, and now you got to start all over again from the back. And look at this, the 66 car behind the wall.
Looks like Benny Gordon may be retiring the 66 car. 2006 division champion out of the event. We're coming back. Setting up for a restart. Shelby Howard once again with Jay Fogelman on his rear bumper. Bring the field back to green. Out of the event is the champion, Benny Gordon. Stephen Cox has caught up with Benny.
Benny Gordon, congratulations. You are the North Series champion for 2006. And you might as well get all this out of the way now, right?
I hope so. That's 2 great performance cars 2 weeks in a row. And we just had problems. We avoided that all year and top 3 finishes all year. And then the last 2 we've had bummer finishes. So great job by my team, though. I got an awesome team. And we're down a little bit because of these 2, but we're going to be ready for that championship.
They have clinched that $25,000 bonus with 7 poles and 5 wins in the Northern Division regular season here in 2006. Whoa, trouble. Boswell into the wall. Turn 3.
Wow, a little bit of contact. It looked like from Jack Bailey as they went off into the corner and around. He went with a lot of help at that point and backs the car into the fence. That kid was having a great run his first time out in the Hooters Pro Cup, and he was really, really doing a good job.
Another look at it from a distance, and Bailey is the car to the inside. Contact. And look at Perkiser and Butler avoid. Close call.
Go off into the corner. He thought he had him cleared. The 93 car was down as low as he could go. He thought he had him cleared and just didn't quite make it.
Rolling down pit road, headed to his pits, is Richard Boswell. And from that damage, Scott, I would say his night is over. Looks like a hard left-hand turn. Richard Boswell put on a great performance here tonight. Comes up just a little bit short. Racing action will get back underway and head to a finish here at South Boston. We're coming back. Don't go away. Setting up for a restart while we were away. Stephen Cox caught up with Richard Boswell, cause of the most recent caution.
Richard, talk about your first night in a Hooters Pro Cup car and your history with Jack Bailey.
Yeah, we raced late models for a long time together, and sometimes we'd race clean, but more than times not. I don't know what it is. I guess he just can't seem to get past the fact that, sometimes we run better than him, sometimes he runs better than us, but he's a lap down car. We're running in the top 5, and he seems to need to race us. And it was just uncalled for. He let the top 4 go, and as soon as I got on the outside of him, he raced me hard. And I don't understand it. I can't thank Champion and Junior Motorsports enough for putting a great car under me, letting me run this car. Tonight, Shane Huffman, Mark McFarland both gave me a heck of a hand down here Thursday and today, both. Jefferson Hodges and Doug Howe did a great job crewing the car, and it's just a shame. We had a great run going.
Shelby Howard's your race leader. Stephen Cox is with his crew chief, Eddie Kelly, to find out what their chances are here this evening at South Boston.
Are you talking to Shelby right now, and if so, what are you saying?
No, I'm talking to you right now. He's doing fine. He don't need me to talk to him right now.
Never without a sense of humor, Gene.
Well, Eddie Kelly, a driver himself in years past, has done a heck of a job bringing this team along. Added Chris Rice to the stable to assist here just a couple of weeks ago, and they're leading the way out of turn 2 over Jay Fogelman and Jeff Agnew.
When that last caution came out, Jeff Agnew was the fastest car on the racetrack. He had run these two down. Does he have enough time to get back up there and to pass him? You can catch him, but what do you do when you get there? You've still got to pass him. And furthermore, these two have raced for what? The last 20 years? You think they've ever traded paint between each other?
I can guarantee it.
Whoa!
Howard, he's missing a good race right behind him. Agnew to the inside of Fogelman. A.J. Frank is looking as well.
A little bump and run move, and Jeff Agnew makes the move under Jay Fogelman. Maybe.
Does he? Fogelman on the outside tries to power it up, tries to cut back across. Agnew takes the spot. Agnew to second. Now he's got to run down Shelby Howard. Howard going around to the outside of Larry Barrett in the 04 car. Time is running out.
Well, they weren't talking to Shelby Howard a minute ago. Do you think they're talking to him now?
Shelby Howard eyes forward, trying to get to victory lane here tonight for the second time in his Pro Cup career. Is that a time where you want to reach over and turn the radio off, Scott?
Well, no, because you want to know who's behind you. You want to know who's the fastest car on the racetrack. But at the same time, you want to know, is he 2 car lengths, 1 car length? Did I pull away on him on this corner? Did he close up on this corner? Where am I stronger? That's where he's stronger.
Jeff Agnew right at the exit of the corner. Again, putting all 4 tires below the yellow line and all over the rear bumper of Shelby Howard. 5 to go. St. Amant up to 5th position. Ken Butler, the 3rd, is running 6th. That would equal his best run in the Pro Cup Series. Meanwhile, battling for the win. Agnew going for 2 in a row. Howard going for his 2nd win of the season.
Oh, that was close.
Jeff Agnew just cannot quite get enough of that fender alongside the 20 car of Shelby Howard.
I don't know how the right front corner of Jeff Agnew's car didn't clip the 20 car. They were so close, they had to take the paint off.
Somebody just grazed the wall down the front stretch just behind your leader. Saw a little bit of concrete dust. Leader's still hard on it, coming up on the 29 car. They're going to swing wide and get by the 29 machine here this evening. Chris Ward, the Howard and Excavating entry, stays out of the leader's way.
That might be just enough for Shelby Howard. They caught that lap traffic. No, yeah, he goes right around him, and he clears him in a hurry. Jeff Agnew has to take a little bit of evasive action. Can't take that bottom white flag.
They got by Dominic Casola. Final lap around. Agnew with a final shot. Closest to the rear bumper within 6 inches. They go down the back straightaway into turn 3. Agnew tries the wide side. Cuts down low. Shelby Howard covers. Howard will win the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by TriStar Racewear. Agnew 2nd. Fogelman 3rd. Frank comes home 4th. Gary St. Amant is 5th. And Ken Butler the 3rd. Posts his 2nd 6th place finish here in his sophomore season in the Pro Cup Series. Congratulations all around down on pit road for the crew of Shelby Howard. Agnew gave it all he had, just not enough for Shelby Howard tonight.
When he did that spin and made it 360 and got his car going, who would ever thought he'd end up in victory lane?
Shelby Howard, for the 2nd time in his Pro Cup career, heads to victory lane. Climbing out of the Speedco Ford is Shelby Howard, and Steven is there.
Shelby Howard, a fantastic night. It's his 2nd career win. He picked up his 1st win mid-season in Jennerstown. And Shelby, I want you to tell me about what you saw in your rearview mirror. It was this great big orange car. How'd you keep him behind you?
Yeah, I saw it coming. They were talking to me on the radio. I knew he was going to be a little quicker. He's been a little better than us all day. But man, I can't believe we won here. This place has been hard on me here in the past. It's just an awesome night for us.
Shelby, you only qualified 13th, and I talked with Eddie Kelly, I talked with some of your crew guys, and they said, we never even wanted to worry about getting the pole. Talk about your strategy all day long, all the way back to practice.
Well, we started the day off a little differently than we have before. weren't worried about qualifying. We just wanted to get the thing to roll through the center, stay on the bottom, and have the forward grip coming off. And we accomplished that. We were disappointed where we qualified, but obviously worked out for us. But, man, I got so many people to thank. First off, my guys have worked so hard the last 2 weeks getting these cars fixed after Salem, and just huge amount of work's been put in. I got to thank Eddie Kelly, Joey Gwynn, Chris Rice, Mike Tizon, I guess, my mom and dad, my fiance Kelly. It's been a long 2 weeks, but we ended up here in Victory Lane, so everybody deserved it. I got to thank Speedco, brand new sponsor with us. Glad to get our first win with them on the car. It's going to be an awesome future for both of us. Gertie engines, awesome horsepower.
It's a long list when you get this high up the ladder. You know that. Way to go, Shelby. Good job.
All righty, thank you.
Well, in addition, is coming from the 13th starting position, Shelby Howard's going to pick up the Grease Lightning Super Strength Performer Award. Led 114 laps here tonight at South Boston. Let's take a look at your finishing results. We already know Howard in victory lane. Agnew, Fogelman, Frank, and St. Amant, but look behind them. Butler, Howard, Perkaiser 8th, Markle 9th, and what a run for Gabby DiCarlo. The young lady comes home 10th here this evening.
Pretty good run for Tim Bainey Jr. Good recovery. Jack Bailey. Joe Harrison Jr. 14th after disastrous last time he's here at South Boston.
Benny Gordon clutches a championship. He will finish in the 20th position. Looking further back, Corbett, motor problems. He will finish 28th. Stacy Perrier will finish 29th here at his home track. And Travis Miller, first car out of the event in the 76-car tough break for the rookie. Second place was Jeff Agnew, and Stephen Cox has made his way over to him.
He's too hot and tired to get up, and I'll sit down beside you. That was a great run, but I saw you coming off number 4. You tagged the wall pretty good. Talk about that lap.
No, I don't think we ever hit no wall. We got pretty close. The car was really good. We waited till late. Thought maybe the tires would be a little more of an issue at the last 30 or 40 laps than they were, but cautions killed us, and people that I don't know. It seemed like it's just really hard to pass here, and you may be 3 or 4 tenths faster than them, and they'll fight for every inch they can get. And I don't know. It's frustrating to finish second and have a car that's 2 or 3 tenths faster than the man that won the race. But congratulations to them. I'd like to thank my guys. They made great calls. Just hate that I couldn't bring it home for them tonight.
I'm going to go check that right rear fender because I saw dust flying, guys.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. He wanted to stay out for that halfway, and I think that's probably what got him at the end of the race.
We'll give a call to Joe Harrison Jr. Started 30th, finished 14th. He's our Aaron Zayas Lease Ownership Hard Charger Award winner tonight. Gabby DiCarlo, 10th place finish here tonight. She'll pick up the $1,000 Miller Lite Rookie of the Race Award. Finishing third here this evening after giving that car one whale of a run was Jay Fogelman, and Stephen Cox has caught up to him.
The guy shows up out of nowhere, jumps in the car at the last minute. It didn't even have the right number on it when you started out the day, and Jay ended up in the top 3. Now that's a good run.
Yeah, it is a good run. Charlie Long and these guys called and asked me, it's a sad situation. Richard Landers' grandfather passed away, and they had to have somebody to drive the car. They had come and tested. Richard had the car great, just sit in it and run tonight. But I just, got a lot of people to thank. I needed a good run. They needed a good run. Romeo Guest, Brown Brothers Plumbing, all these guys that make this go. And then Grease Lightning for letting me come do this stuff, to fill in for somebody that's in a bad situation. It turned out a good night, but a sad situation here. But just feels good to be back South Boston running good again.
Well, back in 2001, the Pro Cup Series initiated a championship series of races at the end of the season.
Well, Benny Gordon definitely has it. It's all over for him. He's got it. Jeff Agnew looks like he's pretty safe for second, but 3rd to 7th, there's going to be a lot of shuffling going on. These guys better bring their A game to the next race.
And a tie for 4th with Jack Bailey and Shelby Howard. With 3 races remaining in the Southern Division, top 3 positions held by former champions of this series, Clay Rogers, Shane Huffman, and Bobby Gill. But it's still tight to that entire top 10 as they head to Peach State.
Yeah, from 4th to 10th, this whole thing could change. There is 3 races left. There's a lot of racing to go on in the Southern Division and really tough racetracks.
Well, your Longhorn next race date is Southern Division action at Peach State Speedway in Jefferson, Georgia. Make your plans to be there Saturday night, August 12th at 7 p.m. Your Sunoco next TV date from Peach State Speedway Southern Division action. Check your local listings for times and dates. I want to thank my broadcast partners, Scott Sutherland and Stephen Cox. I'm Gene Crane. Our congratulations go out to Shelby Howard, winner of tonight's Naturally Fresh 250 presented by TriStar Raceway.